Hello everybody and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. We're going to pick up from where we left off. I've got my little notepad in front of me of the things that I said I was going to do, so we're going to go straight back into mission control where we were last time, and we're going to have a quick look through the missions that we've got here. Obviously we took the orbit Kerbin as an active mission. We now have a distance record and a speed record to do as well, but they are sub missions. I didn't accept those, they've just appeared there. As you can see, we have one active contract, and that's this one that we took here. We'll go back to the available tab. I'll click on the first one. It's ferry a VIP safely to her destination. The objective is to complete the VIP's travel itinerary, which is a suborbital space flight on Kerbin. The next one down is exactly the same thing, just for two of them. It's another suborbital flight. Not great money for them. Not going to look at them just yet because I don't know if we actually have to physically have room for them or anything like that. Perform visual surveys of Kerbin. Now this one says we simply have to take a crew report in flight above 16,800 meters near area FW10. I can't read what that says there, so I'm not sure what this is. Kerbal World First Record Keeping Society. So basically this means we would have to take a vehicle up to above 16,800 meters, a vehicle, a rocket, and do a crew report. We know how to do crew reports, so that's quite simple. The next one is to test the Mark 16 parachute and flight over Kerbin. Here are the test parameters. We need to be on Kerbin, we need to be flying, an altitude of between 13 and 21,000 meters, and a speed of 200 to 600 meters per second. So pretty simple. And as you go down the list, you can see here just different things. Test this part in flight. Test the solid rocket landed at Kerbin. Test it landed at Kerbin. Well, that's easy. We might pick that one up, but we're not going to do any of these yet. And test the rocket max band couple orbiting Kerbin. So as you can see here, we need to be in orbit around Kerbin at 8,000 to 88,000 meters. Tempted 8 science. Going to be nearly 90,000 credits. Rocket Max brand decouple. Now which one is it? I'll tell you what we'll do before we accept that. We'll go and have a quick look in the VAB and see which decouple that is, because if it's the big part one, I'm not going to try it. Let's have a look in structural where the decouplers will be. Yeah, Stacker Max, stack decoupler, and the radio decouplers. We don't even have that part yet, so we're just going to go with our orbital mission. So as always, we start with our pod. I'm going to go back to the Mark 1 command pod simply because it's just my favourite. It's the one I've always used for the most part until we get into the later game anyway. So we'll just get this started straight away. Let's get our parachute on top there. Service bay, I'm not going to touch on that yet. I'm not going to touch on that yet. Yeah, we'll keep that there. So we'll go into our science bay and we'll take the science junior. So obviously science experiments in orbit could be pretty cool. Now around Kerbin, I'll show the biomes actually quickly before we just bundle out of there now. Just don't need to save. It was nice and simple. So we'll head over to the tracking station and we shall have a quick look at the different biomes. Obviously, we've got the two polar caps, all the Arctic and Antarctic caps, the polar caps, south and bottom, they're different biomes. So as we travel over these, they're different biomes, so you can do the same reports at the same altitudes as you would over different biomes. So that would class as a different biome, that one there would be classed as a different biome. The sand, you've got mountains, highlands, midlands, lowlands. I have no idea what that is. I've spent years playing this game, I've spent a lot of time watching videos, nobody's ever mentioned this before. It looks pretty cool, we'll definitely go and have a look at it at some point. But yeah, so there are different biomes in which you can complete all your different experiments in. So we'll go back to the VAB, I just thought I'd show you that quickly whilst I remembered about it. So yeah, back into the VAB, let's see if the ship's still, look at that, it even stayed there for us, nice and simple. So we'll go back and get the goo canisters on there. We'll have another 2 goo canisters for our experiments. We'll put them on the sides here, X key again just to get 2 on there, so that's that done and that's all angle snapped and nicely symmetrical. Parachutes, we'll put another 2 parachutes on the side just to be on the safe side here. Quite a big craft, so we'll have those on there. And then we get our heat shield from aerodynamics. As you can see, we've got lots of other parts here. Not going to need to use any of them as of yet, I don't think, but we are going to fully decouple everything this time. So I'm going to put the heat shield on there, and then we're going to get our stack decoupler on there, and this is the unit here that will be entering the atmosphere again. Now we're going to go for a full orbit here, so I'm going to talk a little bit about the gravity turn, and try and explain a little bit on the way up why we do it and why you need to do it. It was never such a big deal in any of the previous versions of Kerbal, but now as we are running with the what happened there, the proper aerodynamics and whatnot, we do need to bear it in mind. So what am I doing that? I'm going to build a five fuel tanks on this one, with our gimbaling engine, which is the 45. Should be enough to get us into orbit. Could be quite funny if it's not. A little embarrassing, but quite funny. And then we're going to put our radial decouplers on, 2 of those again, nice at an angle, and we're going to use the big Thumper solid rocket booster. This has its own fuel, as I said, and its own engines here. So again, as we start up, we will use this engine about 30% to govern our vectoring, the gimbaling of the engine, so we should have a little bit more control. The SAS will be more effective. We're going to limit these to, I'm going to limit them to 50. I don't know if it's going to be enough, but we'll soon find out. My mouse sensitivity is too high. 49 it is then. Not the end of the world. I think that would be enough to get us into orbit. I really, really would. I'm sure if any of the seasoned players are watching this, they look at me going, "You're not going to do that." Obviously, as I spoke about add-ons before, we could have add-ons running right now that would tell us how much delta V we need. Delta V is the meters per second. It's how many meters per second that this will produce from the fuel and the way that we escape the atmosphere. So we could be working it out. I could set down a pen and paper, but I don't. I like to wing it. It's good fun. At the end of the day, if it goes wrong, it goes wrong. I've got parachutes. I'll still be able to bring my Kerbal back down to Kerbin, so we should be fine. Going to look in science. We've got any other science? We'll pop 2 of these on again, just to be on the safe side, just so that if we are going to have a major catastrophe, we can in fact bring our Kerbin back down without any problems. And do you know what? With that in mind, I was thinking about putting another small fuel tank and a small engine under here, just to help, but I'm convinced that's more than enough fuel to get us into an orbit. So this spaceship is going to be called the Gennard. Again, something to do with a friend. You know who you are. Thank you very much. This will be the Mark 1. I can't spell. I'm pretty sure this should do it. I'd be surprised if it's not. I'd be very surprised if it's not. I think, am I going to need anything else at all? Fuel tanks, no, got nothing in control. Nothing that we're going to need. Oh, I'll tell you what we will do. We'll put all that as tiny, that's silly. Let's get some nipples. Let's pop a couple of nipples on each of those, just for aerodynamics, just to make it a bit smoother going through the air, so we're not trying to push a entirely flat surface. Jesus, wept. I can talk, honestly, I can. Right, okay, let's stop messing around, let's save this, let's give it a go. Now, to escape the atmosphere and to get into an orbit, we're going to need to perform a gravity turn. Now, I don't know if any of you watch space launches on the TV, I know I do, bit of a geek for it, love it. They don't just fly straight up, turn right, and then just burn and they're out. You know, you can't just fly straight off the planet and get off it. You just won't work. You'll either end up come crashing back down to the planet, or you'll completely escape its sphere of influence and go hurtling off into space. Not a good scenario. So what we want to do here is we want to basically form a small arc as we leave. And this is when we'll talk about the nav ball and how we control the vessel. Just make sure the staging is all set up. We've got that'll burn, then they'll eject, they'll get rid of those, and then we'll have the main pod left. So the 2 engines will burn, the solid rocket engines, the 2 engines will burn, the main engine will burn, then they'll decouple, and the main engine continues to burn and see if it gets out of orbit. Right, let's do this. We've got our SAS on, we've got good old Jebediah ready to go. And here we go, mission 4 in 3, 2, 1, and lift off. Now, okay, I might have done a good job on limiting those thrusters to 50% or 49%. On the other hand, at 75 meters per second at 500 meters, perhaps not. Again, it looks like I have overdone it a little bit. The other thing I've done, which you can probably see, is the solid rocket booster engines are sort of tilting inwards towards our vessel as they're burning, because structurally it's not very sound. Now we're managing to stay our course, which is nice. Well, there's only one way to find out what's going to happen, and that's when we decouple them. I'm going to start moving ever so slightly over to the right hand side by using the D key, because oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Okie dokie, fantastic. This is going to be a mission failure. We are going to kill our engine. We're going to decouple, because there's no way we can keep those with us as we try and head back down to the surface. I'm going to pop the parachute here. I'm going to pop that parachute. We'll get that out and start righting ourselves. Wow, what a calamity. Turning with solid rocket boosters, not a good idea. This is an aerodynamic effect. It definitely, there's no two ways about it. It's the aerodynamics that have caused that problem for us. I've never even tried to do a gravity turn with the new Kerbal, so with the 1.0. So again, my inexperience there. We are going to try and take all of this down. Let's time warp back down to the bottom, get this done, get back into the building and start again. Another fantastic cock up from BRG. That was the solid rocket boosters smashing down into the ground. Oh, and a bit of splash down there as well. We're not going to be able to recover those. Boom! And the next one, there we go. There's money going up in smoke. Right, let's just get this back down on the ground at 8.7 meters per second. I'm going to just burn a little bit to try and bleed off a little of that speed as we're heading down. The shadows are back. Uh-oh. Here we go. Big problems. Yep. And I cannot believe what I have just done. I don't believe it. I've just killed Jeb. Jeb is dead. Oh my days. Well, that is an absolute disaster. What to do? Okay, I think this will be the only time I do this, but I'm going to give myself one more chance to get this right. I'm going to revert back to launch, so I can have Jeb back. No, I can't. I'll just have to wait for him. I am going to go back to the Space Center. I cannot believe I've just done that. That is an unmitigated disaster. That is dreadful. Let's just recover all or any of the debris that we can. Oh my word, we've just lost monies. We've lost our pilot. We don't have a pilot now. Okay. Right. The problem here, I think, not 100%, aerodynamically I'm sure we're sound. These rockets are attached a little bit, they're a little bit further down from the centre of themselves as they should be, I think. Which means we're going to need to use all of this thrust before we start performing our turn. And that could be a problem. That could be a real problem. But there's only one way to find out. Let's go back to the crew. We do have a pilot. We do. We have Valentina. Okay, we are just simply going to try the exact same thing again. I know it's a silly thing, you know, if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. But I'm going to increase the thrust of these to get it done a bit faster, and we're going to see if this works. Because I think if we burn all of this and then start trying our gravity turn, it may be a bit late, it may not. We'll we'll have a look. We'll see if we can do it. So save that, back to the launch pad. Valentina, our last badass. Oh, crikey. I can't believe I've just done that. That's so goddamn embarrassing, the amount of times I've played this guy. I've kept Jeb alive for months. And then that happens. Right, okay, station's all set up. 3, 2, 1, and lift off! Okie doke. We are thrusting the main engine a little bit more than we should. We'll bring that back down again. As you can see on the nav ball here, we are keeping relative. Now there's a little green circle in here. That's the prograde vector that I was talking about when I mentioned prograde before. Already at 200 meters per second, not ideal. I think aerodynamics are going to kick in soon. So essentially we are wasting fuel right now, and we really should be turning. Yep, here come the aerodynamics, and we've got about a quarter of our tanks left. We're starting to lose it. Oh my god. Okay. I'm going to see if I can somehow rescue this. I don't think I'm going to be able to. Oh, I really don't think I'm going to be able to. This is almost mission entirely over. We're upright. If I can get us back into the right kind of position. I think we're going to struggle to... Oh my word, I've got the buttons messed up. Yeah, this is just an outright failure. I haven't even taken those off yet, so we've been carrying all that extra weight. I mean, it's just another disaster. This is going to be back to the drawing board. This is not a rocket that's going to get us into orbit. Certainly not the way I've been attempting to. We're not even through our gravity turn now. We're going to avert this flight. Okay, and we'll have a quick look and see. Back into the vehicle assembly, and we'll have a look and see what I think it's done. I think the main problem is that time was just too much thrust. I think last time we had the thrust, it was okay. It wasn't causing us any problems. Right, off you come. Let's try something a little bit different. Let's not use solid rocket fuel boosters. Let's get rid of those. Create another one of those with the rocket on there. Put the decouplers back on, but this time in a 3. So X and X, so we'll have 3 of them. And we might find that because these are smaller and they're all gimbaled engines, we have a bit more control over them. And the other thing I'm going to do, which again, if there are people who play KSP watching this, will be looking, oh god, they didn't go on straight at all, did they? Watching this, screaming at me going, fins! Use fins! It's aerodynamics, BRG! Well, yes, okay. I'm going to bite the bullet and we're going to put some fins on this time. Basic fins, they're quite small. I'm going to use the winglets simply because I like the look of them. I think they look pretty cool. So we'll have those on there, and hopefully that should help. Now we're going to fire all 3 rockets at once. Then in this stage we're going to decouple the outside ones. I don't have fuel lines. No, I don't have fuel lines yet, and that's fine. That's not a problem. Let's give this rocket a try. Let's see if this has got what it takes to get us up there. And obviously we can control all the thrust of these engines, so we're not so much worried. We'll have much better control on our launch, maybe a bit of aerodynamic stability. Let's go with the Janab Mark II, because the first one was just fucking shocking. Oh, I can't believe how bad I was at that. Okay, yeah, enough talk. Let's get back out to the launch, but we can't support vehicle. Oh, bums. This is why I should have upgraded the VAB. Now, it cost 18,000 to make this rocket. How much is it going to cost me to upgrade the VAB? I'm just going to do it. Okay, so the VAB at the moment, max parts supported are 30. If we upgrade it, max parts supported are 255, and you get basic action groups, which we won't get into any detail of yet. I'm just going to do it. There we go. Click, and look at that. All souped up a bit, looking quite nice. Massive reduction in our funds, but not so worried about that. Let's get back into the VAB. You know, I didn't even look at how much science we've got. What do we have in the way of reason? I don't know how to tell actually. Electric charge. We're not creating any electric charge. But do we have any batteries? Don't even have any batteries to create electric charge with. Okay, I'm not worried about that. I don't know if we've got any science or money. We might have some science to spend actually. I might have done all of this and shown you a Gucci little rocket design. I call it Gucci because it was one of the first ones I ever built and I thought it was fun. I've got 67 science! What am I doing? Right, research and development. Okay, what to spend it on. So down here, basic science, we have a Stay Putnik. That is the first of the probe parts. An unmanned vessel control. We have batteries. We have a thermometer, it's another scientific experiment there, not sure why I'm talking so loud, and a better antenna. Here, flight control, we have a reaction wheel. That might have actually fixed our original rocket, might well have done. We have a wing, sorry, I'm getting carried away. A reaction wheel is something that adds to the stability of the rocket as it flies. It's an inline reaction wheel. It will spin and help to generate force around the rocket to keep it sturdy. There will be a new cockpit which takes one again, but it can crew reports everything. Yeah, okay, no, it's fine. It has a little bit of monopropellant fuel in it as well, which we'll touch on. And the winglet here, this could be really handy because it has a control surface, and a control surface means it's something that you can control, so it moves like the wings on a plane, or flaps on a plane, or use it as a tail fin if you're really brave. Would that work? Yeah, it would. Shouldn't, but it would. But it wouldn't work because the buttons wouldn't work for it because it is a wing control surface, not a tail fin. I'm rambling again. Okay, aviation, on to the next one. A whole host of parts. I'm not even going to touch those yet because that's all spacey planes. Here's a good one. Again, this bit here may well have fixed the other rocket. This is a strut connector. Those of you who know KSP, you'll know what they are. You'll live and breathe by them. If those of you are still beginners and watching and playing along with how I play, these things are genius, absolute genius. They will hold your entire rocket together and prevent many catastrophes. Very many catastrophes. They're absolutely fantastic. It's like glue for your rocket. You just throw them all over the place and it'll hold things together. And as you saw on the Mark 1 there, the Genard Mark 1, where the solid rocket boosters were sort of tilting in slightly towards the cone of the rocket because they weren't supported, that would stop them. A structural fuselage which does nothing. It's just a structural element, very strong but very light. The Rockomax brand decoupler, that's a much bigger decoupler for bigger rockets. The Rockomax brand adapter, I'm pretty sure you can figure out how these two go together. So we would attach this to the bottom of our command pod, and then we'd be able to attach bigger fuel tanks and the things would fit. And launching struts, the stability enhancers for launching, they're pretty cool. We've only got enough for one of these. I just don't know what to do. I really don't. I've said in a couple of them that they'll really help. I want the bigger fuel tanks, but I'm not so worried about those for now. I'm not worried about batteries and whatnot, because when we've done this review, I'm not worried about that. Although the winglets, the aerodynamics. Struts get it every time. Okay, let's buy... Oh, I don't know. The engine's not really good enough as a side mount engine. We don't need that yet. It'll be good for a lander, but not anything else. Sorry, I didn't go through the other parts, did I? This is the Terrier liquid fuel engine. Really, really small. Doesn't use much of your fuel, but doesn't generate that much thrust either. Really good for using for interplanetary transfers and stuff. You will see that in a later video. The third liquid fuel engine, again, a little bit more thrust. Let's have a look down here. If we can just see, if we right click, will it stay? No. It will gimbal with an 8-degree range, which is very, very nice. Max thrust in atmosphere is 108, in a vacuum is 120. There we go. And the little one, the Terrier engine as it's now called, is 14 in atmosphere and 60 in a vacuum. So you can see the amount of difference, but obviously the fuel usage is variant. And then there's an even bigger fuel tank. That's one of each of the fuel tanks we currently have combined. Just makes the craft a little bit more sturdy, really, more than anything else. I've got to go struts. I don't know. Do you know what we're gonna? No, we're gonna go for struts. We're gonna go for struts because I don't want to have to cheat again and save Valentina if I have to. I don't want to do that again. I said to myself in the very beginning I wasn't going to cheat. I put it on for. I left the option open for unmitigated disasters and tests, which we'll get to. And I know Jeb was an unmitigated disaster, but that was my fault. Not because I'd overlooked something, but because I didn't control the rocket properly whilst trying to escape the atmosphere. I wasn't paying attention. So we are just going to, with our struts here, try and make this craft a little more stable. And to do that, all we're going to do is take our struts. We're on the 3 mode, as you saw, and we are going to I pressed the wrong button. Just attach from there to there, like so, and then from the bottom of each. Did I click that? No, from the bottom of each one across to the bottom of the next one, just to keep them steady. That will hold very, very nicely. Oh, they have mass, so they could affect our aerodynamics. Ah, there's only one way to find out. We're gonna try this one. I have no idea how long this video's gone on for. No, it'll be fine. Let's launch it. I've got the rest of the day off. I don't mind spending a few hours uploading. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. I'm quietly confident with this one. Quietly confident. All the staging's in the right place. Let's turn on the SAS. Valentina Kerman. Let's just call it take 50. 3, 2, 1, lift off, and away we go. Now again, you see lifting off under half throttle, gaining a nice amount of speed. You can see on the nav ball that we're managing to hold our course quite nicely. I can't tell if that's an aerodynamics or just a graphical bug. I'm going to go with graphical bug. We're starting to speed up quite rapidly. Going to thrust down a little bit, and I'm just going to turn to the right ever so slightly. Now the little green circle you can see is kind of staying where it is. That is our thrust vector, our prograde vector, and that is the direction in which we are currently thrusting. You don't want to take the little I can't remember what that's called. That's embarrassing. I should have looked that up. You don't want to take it outside of that too much, because if you do, the aerodynamics will start acting. Because at the moment, let's say the thrust is going directly through the rocket. If we turn too much, the aerodynamics will start to hit side onto the rocket and cause problems. 200 meters per second. I'm going to keep it at that thrust, and I'm just going to keep us moving over as our thrust vector, our prograde vector, moves over to the right. And what we're doing now is we're performing a gravity turn. If you want the science behind the gravity turn, let me know. I will try and look it up. I'm just going to start thrusting up as we go here. We're just about to leave the set. Okay, we are hitting problems. We are hitting problems, but I've got this. I think I can control this. I spoke too soon. Okie doke. Massive, massive, massive problems. Unbelievable problems. Never known anything like this. Holy hell. Okay. I'm cheating again. Okay. I'm going to go back to the vehicle assembly, and I'm going to try and figure out what it is I'm doing wrong. I don't know if it's because I'm carrying too much speed and trying to turn too much. I haven't played with the aerodynamics before. This beginner's guide let's play has started to become an absolute travesty. One more go. Before I close the video, one more go. I didn't get the winglets, so not one more go. I just don't know what to do. I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong. Let's have those there, and let's do the same again on these, and just to see if that makes, because they're not really any control, but they are adding stability. They are adding stability. So we're going to try this one more time. We'll change that to Mark 3. 3. Yeah, let's keep that. That's stupid. I like it. Let's save. We're going to try one more time, and I'm going to try and be really, really gentle. I'm going to try and be really, really gentle and see what I get. Another quick thing, just quickly, that we'll run through. Down here, if you can see as I press left and right are your changes. I press D and S and W, sorry, our pitch will change, and Q and E will change our roll. If you press caps lock, they'll change colour and they'll go into what's known as fine control, where you can press the button to perform a roll or a pitch change or a yaw change, but it'll have much less effect. So fine control is really good for when you're trying to dock, which I hope to show you one day if I can ever get off of this planet. I think I know what it is. I think I know what it is. I think I know what it is. I think I'm about as aerodynamic as a brick. I think that's my problem. Let's jump back into here quickly. Let's get some nose cones on the top of these for a start. Let's have those on there. And what was the other thing I just thought of? The nose cones on there. No, that should be okay. That should be it. And we're not going to try and turn as quickly. We're just not. Because I think I did exactly what I said I shouldn't when I started taking us just a bit too far out of that comfort zone. I started, instead of the thrust going through the centre of the rocket, the thrust started doing this, and the aerodynamics started pushing on the craft in the wrong way, and we had problems. 3, 2, 1, launch! We have liftoff! Oh, I didn't show you the really cool smoke effects. Oh well. Let's see what happens. Okay, so we're looking alright so far, because I haven't tried to make any direction changes as of yet. I've just pressed the button once, and again, you can just see it'll do a little flicker. I'm just ever so slightly trying to turn this over to the right. Ever so slightly. I'm going to put caps lock on so it doesn't have too much of an effect. And just try and use the precision controls or the gentle controls to get us over into a gravity turn a bit easier. What? I'll just turn them off. Uh-oh. Okay, let's see what happens. I'm not panicking. I'm just going to try and keep us centrally over our thrust vector, which we're about to lose again. I am really struggling. I don't believe this. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I really don't. I got no idea why this is doing this. Welcome to the guy who's going to teach you how to play Kerbal, everybody. He's not very good at it. He really isn't. You lot can bugger off. Let's see if we can't get you. I don't like how this has gone, but... And now look, now I've got control again. Let's hit that vector so that we've got no fuel. No, okay. Absolutely rubbish. Cheating all the time. Revert flight. I'm going to leave this video there. I'm going to post it up anyway because it was fun. I did have a laugh. Really disappointed that I didn't manage to get us anywhere. Not quite so sure why or what's occurring. Maybe something to do with the speed. I'm not entirely sure. I'm going to have a little play off screen, see if I can't figure out where I was going wrong, then come back and tell you all about why I'm so crap, and we shall try again and see what happens. May just be that I need those winglets to be working. I need the actual control surfaces. I think that's going to work a lot better with the SAS. Yep, let's see what happens. Okay. Thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you next time. I would apologise for it being crap, but it was pretty funny. How not to play Kerbal. Alright, see you soon. Bye.